Russia just suffered another massive blow to its prospects of ever claiming any kind of victory in this war. But this time, it wasn't a masterfully executed Ukrainian drone strike or a perfectly planned missile launch that left Russian President Vladimir Putin in a state of rage and confusion. No, this time Putin's problems come from somewhere far different and quite unexpected. The land down under itself, Australia. The country, which is undergoing a military modernization of its own, recently delivered a batch of M1 Abrams tanks, widely regarded by experts as being the very best tanks in the world, to the armed forces of Ukraine. These Abrams tanks are already rolling out under the control of Ukraine's 425th Assault Regiment, nicknamed Scala. Scala is now officially the second formation in the Ukrainian armed forces to operate these tanks, with the first being the 47th Mechanized Brigade, Mura. The regiment confirmed the news in a Facebook video showing the M1 Abrams in action, firing its iconic M256 120mm smoothbore tank gun and traversing tricky terrain. While the Scala soldiers did not confirm the exact source of the tanks, analysts and military experts agree that these are almost certainly part of the massive $245 million AUD, $160 million USD military aid package Australia promised Ukraine. The first batch of tanks arrived in mid-July, confirmed by the Australian government in a statement on July 19th. According to the statement, the Albanese government continues its steadfast support for Ukraine, with the transfer of the first tranche of Australian-gifted M1A1 Abrams tanks to the armed forces of Ukraine. In total, Australia has pledged 49 Abrams tanks, along with spare parts and support equipment, as part of the $1.5 billion in aid it has committed to Ukraine since the war began. Australian leaders emphasized their commitment to Ukraine. Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles said the tanks will make a significant contribution to Ukraine's ongoing fight against Russia's illegal and immoral invasion. Defense Minister Pat Conroy added, "Australia stands shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine. These modified M1A1 Abrams tanks will deliver more firepower and more mobility to the Ukrainian armed forces. This support represents not only military aid, but also Australia's commitment to upholding the global rules-based order." The M1 Abrams tanks themselves are among the most respected and proven main battle tanks in modern history. Entering service in 1980, they have fought in conflicts from the Gulf War to Iraq and Afghanistan, excelling in firepower, mobility, and survivability. Weighing over 70 tons in some variants, the Abrams still achieves remarkable agility, thanks to its 1,500 horsepower AGT500 multi-fuel gas turbine engine, capable of reaching 45 mph on roads and 30 mph across rugged terrain. Its powerful M256 120mm smoothbore cannon, combined with advanced stabilization, fire control, and thermal imaging systems, allows it to deliver precise and devastating firepower even while moving. Secondary armaments include a 50-caliber M2HB heavy machine gun and multiple M240 machine guns for additional firepower. The tank's protection is equally impressive, featuring composite and modular armor capable of withstanding small arms fire, explosions, and even some anti-tank weapons. Many variants now include explosive reactive armor and active protection systems such as Trophy, which intercepts incoming projectiles before impact. The M1A1 AIM-SA variant sent by Australia includes upgraded armor, thermal sights, and diesel engines, making it more compatible with Ukraine's existing logistics. However, Ukraine has faced challenges operating Abrams tanks. Some were destroyed by Russian fire, often due to lack of air and artillery support, while others suffered technical issues. At first, Ukrainian crews also lacked experience with the Abrams, making them vulnerable. Despite these challenges, Ukraine's armed forces have proven highly adaptable and resourceful, quickly learning to maximize the tank's potential. These tanks arrive at a crucial time, as Russia intensifies drone attacks and fresh assaults on the front lines, particularly around Pokrovsk, a vital transport hub. Ukraine has been deploying German Leopard tanks and Bradley fighting vehicles to repel Russian advances, and now the Australian Abrams tanks will add a powerful edge. Against poorly equipped Russian troops, many sent into battle on foot, quad bikes, or motorcycles, the Abrams' firepower and armor are overwhelming. This puts Russia in a lose-lose situation. If it continues to send under-equipped troops, they will be decimated by Ukraine's armor. But if it brings its remaining tanks out of reserve, they risk destruction by Ukrainian drones, mines, and anti-tank weapons. With over 4,000 tanks and 8,000 armored vehicles already lost, Russia simply cannot sustain such losses. The arrival of the M1 Abrams tanks represents another major win for Ukraine and a critical setback for Russia. It highlights not only the battlefield importance of these tanks, but also the global coalition rallying behind Ukraine. With allies like Australia providing cutting-edge weaponry, Ukraine grows stronger, while Russia finds itself increasingly isolated, reliant only on limited support from Iran, North Korea, and Belarus.